Hello everybody and welcome to the 2018 edition of Tiger Talk. We're here at Marshall District Office in the main boardroom, and each and every month Tiger Talk is a show that's pre-recorded so that you can watch this on Studio One TV. In fact, if you're a charter member, it's channel 180 or VAS 17. That's for Studio One TV, but we usually showcase this on Tiger TV, which is charter channel 181, or VAS 95 Digital 18. And of course, you can also view Studio One programming on SMSU Media, which is Charter 188. So throughout the next month or so, you're going to be able to kind of watch the show. You can stop it, start it, check it out on YouTube. But it's our attempt here on Tiger Talk, January 2018, to bring you up to date on what's happening with our Marshall Public Schools. My name is Doug Goodman. I work for Marshall Community Services. And with me once again is that very special guest, Superintendent of Marshall Public Schools, Scott Munson. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Doug. I'm glad to be here.
We're happy to have you here, and of course, a little bit later on, in fact, just a couple minutes, we're going to bring on some very special guests, and you're going to get a chance to interview some of your wonderful faculty members, people of expertise in the whole concept of technology, which is kind of scary for me, but I'm sure that they're going to bring us up to date on what the new things that are happening at Marshall Schools.
Absolutely excited about having them on the program and talking about some technology updates happening in the district. They're also going to present at the school board meeting and share some information. So this will be a good warm-up for the three of them, and we've got a variety of topics to talk about. And there's really a lot going on in technology, Doug. So, you know, we could probably fill up an hour-long program really with everything going on, but we know we don't have that much time. So we'll kind of focus in on a couple of the things that maybe are really helpful, most helpful to parents and students in terms of knowledge. And like I said, I'm looking forward to having them on here.
Now, in just a few minutes, in fact, this show is going to last about a half an hour. There will be a school board meeting that will take place in this very room. And of course, they're viewed right on Studio One, Tiger TV. If you do have any questions about anything that's discussed at the school board meetings, you can always get a hold of yourself. We're going to have some technology people, as we mentioned earlier on. I know that our special guests will be Karen Lundgren, Tammy Doulis, and Teresa McCoy, three outstanding technology people within our school district. But again, how does one find out if they have questions about Marshall Public School, maybe how to go to the website, anything about the school board? Absolutely.
Anybody who has questions, Doug, can contact the district office at 537-6924. Or they can go to our website, which is www.marshall.k12.mn.us. Email is also a good way, of course. We're going to talk about technology, which is certainly an important part of email. And my email address is scott.monson@marshall.k12.mn.us. So folks have questions, want more information, there's three ways right there that they can hopefully find it, and we'll get them answers.
Sounds great. And we have Ryan Myberg and Alex Peterson behind the cameras here, and I think they'll put a little blur maybe across the screen. And of course, we're in the middle of January here, the second quarter. Is it second quarter almost over?
Second quarter starts next week, actually. This is finals week, so a lot going on.
Sounds good. And of course, those websites and all that information, should there be a school weather-related cancellation, you're shaking your head no, you're pretty optimistic.
There aren't going to be any this year.
All right, that sounds good. I'm right there with you. Hopefully that doesn't happen, even though the students I know pretty much wish every week that something's going to happen. So we'll keep that in mind. And again, I want to thank you, Scott, for being on this January 2018 edition of Tiger Talk. And continue to keep watching Studio One, because these are shown, again, each and every month throughout the entire school year and sometimes even into the summer. So with that being said, anything else before we take a quick break and bring on our technology folks?
Absolutely, Doug. You know, I know that you're retiring from your position, and from all of us in the school district, just want to thank you for everything you've done for the district throughout many, many years and in our community. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and we all wish you nothing but the best of luck as you move forward. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And it's been my pleasure for almost 40 years to work with our administration and all of our schools, elementary all the way to our high school, Maytech and all the wonderful folks, from the custodians to your wonderful faculty. They're an important part of our Talents Academy and our driver's ed program, just a number of different things. And of course, having access for our community services programs right in our wonderful facilities. So appreciate again the thank yous, and thank you to you and your staff for what I hope to be another adventure as we move forward into 2018. So
Good deal.
we'll be right back with our technology folks here at Marshall Public Schools for this 2018 January edition of Tiger Talk. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Munson, Superintendent in the Marshall Public Schools, and I have the privilege right now to have an opportunity to have 3 of our staff members join me, and they are going to be presenting at the school board meeting in a little bit and talking about technology in our school district and a lot of different things going on, and we could talk, I'm thinking, a long time, because I know how passionate the 3 of you are about technology and everything that it can do for our students and families and our staff and the district in general. But we're going to kind of try to focus on a few of the things happening from a technology perspective. And before I actually get into the questions, I think I'll just give each of you a chance to introduce yourself and talk about maybe how long you've been in the district and what your role is. And then once that's done, we'll go through some questions and talk about some of the technology things happening. So Karen, if you could start, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. I'm Karen Lundgren. I am the Technology Integration Specialist for the district, so I work in all the buildings. And this is my 3rd year at Marshall Public Schools.
I'm Tammy Dulas, and I am the 3rd and 4th grade technology teacher at Westside. This is my 3rd year as a technology teacher. Prior to that, I was a 3rd grade teacher for 21 years at Westside.
And I'm Teresa McCoy. I've been teaching for 5 years, and it's all at Marshall Middle School, and I teach 5th through 8th grade technology.
Awesome. Thanks, ladies. So, Karen, we decided that you drew the short straw, and you get to go first with the questions. But,
Okay.
You mentioned that you're an integrationist. Can you just, I know this isn't on our script, but can you just give, most of us maybe in the public don't know what that means, so can you give us a short synopsis of what an integrationist does in the district? I know how important folks in your role are, but maybe you can share a little bit of that with the public for us.
Sure. Well, my role as an integrationist is, for one thing, ever evolving. I've seen a lot of change in my role just, within the last couple of years within the district. But my primary goal and my primary position is to help staff with technology resources, whether it be finding resources for them, working with them on implementing them or incorporating them into the classroom, as well as helping students use the technology appropriately.
Awesome. So just kind of taking it to another level, which is certainly something that's important. So, Karen, having said that, we're using a new parent communication tool, maybe more extensively this year than we ever have, and it's called Blooms, primarily at Westside, but also at Parkside. Can you talk a little bit about what Blooms is?
Sure. Blooms, as you mentioned, is a parent communication tool. We did a pilot of it last year at Westside with a handful of teachers for about the last half of the school year, and decided to implement it building-wide this year. One nice piece that we liked about Blooms is that it does not require the parent to have internet access at home to participate and use Blooms as a communication tool. They can either receive text messages via cell phone, or there's a smartphone app as well that the parents can use. Blooms is, it's almost a little social media-like, a little Facebook-like, but in a much more secure environment, allows us to communicate with families. So our classroom teachers use Blooms in many different ways. For one thing, they have updates. They can put announcements out to families. Parents join a classroom, for example, by invitation. So you have to have an invitation and approval from the classroom teacher in order to participate in your child's classroom. And then the teachers, like I said, can put updates and announcements out. They have a classroom calendar where they can put a schedule of events, for example. There's a conference scheduler included in Blooms, which our teachers have really liked because they can create their conference schedule, parents can sign up online, and once they're signed up, it takes that slot out of the schedule, so no one else can sign up for that slot.
Okay.
There's a volunteer sign-up piece within Blooms that if a classroom is having a party, for example, and they're looking for parent volunteers, or going on a field trip and want parent volunteers to supervise, they can put a notice out via Blooms that looking for volunteers, and parents can sign up online. They also use that tool if they're looking for donations for the classroom. So if they're having a classroom party and they need cups or plates, for example, they can put a list out there of what they need. Parents can sign up for it, and it eliminates a lot of doubling up of donations and supplies as well. Another really neat thing that Tammy works with the students on over there as well is the students create daily video announcements.
Yep, I've seen
At
those.
Westside
Yep.
that are disseminated using the Blooms application as well. So that's a really, really cool piece. So as well as a behavior management piece. So it does a lot of things for us.
And you mentioned privacy, because when I've been on Blooms, like you said, it's sort of a Facebook page that's tailored to education or classrooms or a school or whatever. And you can't access that group unless you have an invitation, correct?
Correct.
So,
Correct.
which is really important in something we're going to talk about kind of ongoing here, I think, throughout this program, which is the whole security piece. So that's really good to hear. Do we have any idea what percent of parents are signed up and participate with Blooms? Just a ballpark guess.
Tammy, do you?
I haven't heard a number, but the majority are.
Yeah, I know a couple of the classrooms I've seen, I think it's been like 22 out of 24, 21 out of 23, so it seems to have really taken off, so, which is good. That's why we implement things like that, and we know how important it is for parents to get engaged and involved, and first and foremost, be aware, and
Right.
a lot of the things that I've seen on there are really cool and really exciting, and I'm sure parents appreciate that. So also, maybe in a little bit of the same parallel, Karen, can you talk about the Seesaw program that's being used at Parkside? That's something, admittedly, I don't know a whole lot about, so I'm interested in hearing about it.
Seesaw is just slightly different than Blooms. Blooms is more of a communication tool. Seesaw is what I would consider more of a digital portfolio for students, where they can create content and they essentially can show what they know. We're in, some relatively early learning stages of using Seesaw as well, but I have a lot of upcoming trainings with staff over the next couple months or so to work on incorporating Seesaw into their classrooms. Teachers are looking to want to use that for formative assessment tools.
Yep.
Again, students can show what they know. Seesaw is also a secure environment where you can invite parents to participate and distribute the student learning or the student journals to the parents as well. So share that work that students are doing via Seesaw with the parents. And again, they don't have to have internet access. They can have an app on their phone, for example, if they have a smartphone. So again, bridges some of those gaps that we sometimes face in that arena.
And one of the things that I think is I'll say really cool about that, a lot of times digital portfolios might be something that Teresa works with that age of students. That seems to be, high school and middle school students. That's when you maybe tend to see that. So to sort of realize that it's finding its way into our elementary grades, and they're learning so many skills with that: problem solving, creativity, just analysis, organization, communication, certainly. Those are really valuable skills that this sounds like the Seesaw program can help them with. So very nice.
There's some parallels between the two, between Blooms and Seesaw. Seesaw incorporated a messaging tool
Okay.
this school year within their app, which Blooms also does. And Blooms has some limited digital portfolio options. So, but they do each do their own unique things that we like them both. So.
Very good. Karen, I'm going to come back to you with a couple more questions here in a little bit, but we'll go to Tammy. Tammy, you indicated earlier, as I know, but that you work at Westside and that you've kind of been in a new role that's not really new anymore for you, but I know there's some exciting things going on there. So can you talk a little bit about the technology that's being used at Westside, maybe in addition to Blooms, some of the other things that are kind of exciting and maybe new?
Yeah, it's really exciting for the kids to each have their own device. We keep them in a cart so it can be charged every night. The students don't bring them home. They're learning to be very independent with them. They have learned a lot of problem solving with it, how to fix things if something's not working, just by trial and error and repetition. I checked with a lot of the classroom teachers, and they use the devices for a good part of the day. A lot of reading. What's really nice about that is it can be individualized. They, for nonfiction, will use Big Universe and World Book Online, and for the fiction stories, Tumble Books. And Tumble Books is really nice because it has some of the books that can be read aloud to them, so the students can listen to it, which is really nice for some of the special ed children or the EL learners. Had a new student today, in fact, could not speak. He's very new to the country, and I found a book in Spanish, and the biggest smile on his face because he could actually use his device. He had his headphones on, and he was ready to go. So that was really fun. But just the diversification of that, where the kids know their Lexile levels, they can go in and be independent in choosing a book at their own level and keep moving forward, and it frees up the teachers for more small group work and one-on-one teaching.
Absolutely.
And the kids are engaged in something purposeful rather than you're always having to be watching what they're doing. They're excited to use their device, and they know how to. In math, it's awesome. The kids have a program they like, Prodigy, and to them it's just a game. They can't wait to get their hands on it. And they have standards practice on there. Another site they use for fact fluency. And again, the teacher can be working with small groups or one-on-one while the kids are working on their own individualized, whatever they need work with. Science, they have an online textbook they're using, and it has the capability that the students can read it or it can be read to them. So again, nice for your different levels of learners. Social studies it's always hard to stay current with what's going on in today's world. So using Schoology, some of the teachers are creating content where the kids will go in and read some current event, and then they can discuss it and kids can comment on it. So then we can talk about how do you respectfully comment on another student's post. So you get some of that digital citizenship in there too. And it's good practice to use Schoology because at the middle school and high school, they're using it. So we're doing a lot of introductory things, just giving them the foundation so they can take it and continue that at middle school and high school. What else were they talking about? Research. We have a bookmark page, Symbaloo, where it's a safe place. We can put the tiles out there with the sites already on it, so the kids just click on it. They're not just free searching right now when they're so young and can get taken different places. So for research, we'll pull a couple sites that the kids can access and practice their research skills in a safe environment. We create presentations. The fourth graders, mainly with PowerPoints, they have a mystery IRP project they work on. So they read the book and they can't tell anybody what it is. So then when they come to me for tech time, then I work on PowerPoint with them. So I teach them a lot of the basics. What is a PowerPoint? It's mainly to focus on the content, not all the bells and whistles right now, but just to get that down and know how to move through and add slides and things like that. We also do one for regions of the United States and social studies. So we're trying to integrate what I do in technology with what the classroom teachers are doing. And Kaya Johnson in media too, we work together a lot on different projects as well. the third graders do a famous inventors research project, and then they might come in and we'll type up the report. So then they get practice with word processing and indenting and those types of things. Teachers are using a lot of review games to prepare for tests. Kahoot, they make different types of Quizlets. Recently, we're doing a lot of testing. So we're in the middle of our NWEA winter tests. We do star reading assessments. In the spring, we'll be doing the MCA test. So it's just nice to be able to, each student to have their own device rather than to cycle all of the classes through the tech lab. What else are they doing? That's mainly what they're doing, and they're just using them a lot, and the kids enjoy it, and the teachers really appreciate it.
So I think you touched on some of maybe answers, if you will, to this question, Tammy, but what have you seen transitioning from a classroom teacher into your new role? How have you seen technology change teaching and learning? You know, what are maybe one or two of the most eye-opening things from your perspective?
I think just how engaging and exciting it is. You really captivate the kids. They're just so into all of the, they want things coming at them fast, and you can just tie in so many current things, I think, and then you can always tie in the digital citizenship too, that I like to talk about. There's just a lot of teachable moments that it all interacts, and I just think too, the differentiating, because so many students at different levels, how do you reach them all?
Right.
And this really does help that.
I would think too that like the I'll say downtime, when maybe some students might need 15 minutes to complete an activity, but some can do it in 7 or 8. You have that downtime where you might be able to supplement the learning that's taking place by utilizing technology, and I think a lot of our staff members see that.
Yeah, and the opportunity for enrichment too. So that's nice. Some of the kids can move on if they're ready to, and others can get that reteaching piece.
Absolutely, super. Teresa, let's go to you and go through some things. So we have some after-school activities that take place that sort of focus on technology. Can you talk a little bit about those and what your experiences have been, and share for everybody what's going on?
I have an after-school tech club where currently I have 48 students that could come to my lab. I have 30 computers in my lab, but I have about 35 students come. 9 girls consistently, so I have a really good mix, and I have a mix of abilities. I have students that have paras during the daytime, and they come to Tech Club on their own, and they're doing what the other kids are doing. Students can join anytime, because I don't say no to any of the students.
Sure.
I had a student join for the first time today, actually. But if I have more than 30 kids, we do a rotation. The kids absolutely love Minecraft, and that's one of the main draws that we've been using. So if we have more than 30 kids, I have robots for them to use. We have Dash robots. So they kind of know that, you know, they're taking turns with Minecraft, and I usually have kids come in and say to me that they want to do robots today. So I haven't had any tears, and I haven't had to tell kids that they can't do something.
Sure.
So I have enough activities that I can, look after the numbers that come through. We do the Minecraft. We do 3D puzzle building. I had a student last year that didn't like some of the activities that we were doing, and she was honest with me. And I said, well, what do you like to do? It's just puzzles. So I went out and got some 3D puzzles, and so it's just looking for, to get them interested in something. We've done stop motion videos. One of the programs I use during the daytime is NitroType. And the kids, when they come in the lab for the after-school tech, they'll start with NitroType, because that gives us a little bit of time to transition into it. We do Kodo game building, where they have to create It's similar to Minecraft, but they create the game themselves, and I am not an expert on that. The students are. And that is a Microsoft product, and that's a free one, so that's a good one. We do coding. Hour of Code. I use the code.org and Tinker site for coding. And then again, the robots, the Dash robots. And I have Sphero robots, but I'm not as happy with the Sphero robots. I think the Dash robots have worked with, even though they're geared a little bit for the younger kids, they're more sturdy and reliable than the other ones. So I have a mix of things that I'm using.
And I know it was interesting a while ago as I was walking either into or out of the building after school, there were a bunch of, I believe they were your students in the hallway, and it was kind of, you could tell they were very engaged and with all due respect to them, not really paying attention to what I was doing, which is great. I just wanted to kind of maneuver my way through them. So it was really exciting to see them be engaged in all of those things that you're talking about. We have more questions, but I want to, we're also running out of time, and I want to talk about the whole cybersecurity, digital citizenship, being responsible online, internet, social media users. Can you just briefly share sort of some thoughts that might reassure parents that and community members that we're aware of those challenges and we're trying to address them really at all grade levels, if anybody wants to kind of touch on those in addition to what we've already talked about.
Well, I know at Parkside they start right away with digital citizenship lessons, and we continue that at every grade level. At Westside we use a lot of common sense media curriculum, and we start off the year with responsibility, being responsibility to yourself, your friends, and your family, and how can you do that, not sharing private information. And we talk about how different face-to-face friends are than online friends.
Right.
And that you just have to really protect your private information, your full name, your address, your phone number, passwords. And lately we've been talking a lot about social media, just because you see so much of it. Yeah. And just the news, it's such a springboard a lot of times of what not to do. And we talk about how as adults, I was never taught with digital citizenship. We didn't have to worry about
Right.
it. So I told the kids, you guys are the ones that are really going to have to teach everybody about how to be, it's our tiger trait, be safe, be responsible, be respectful. And it comes back online and offline. So we always hit those topics really hard.
And at the middle school, it's the same. I use common sense media material as well, and other material, NetSmarts. There's some really good rap songs that tie into the digital citizenship piece that I play every day for students. I want that in their brain, and they hear it all the time, and they're singing and they're humming it at the beginning of class. I take them through a lesson on password security so that they're testing their passwords. So if they're testing student, they're learning that password could be hacked instantly. So then I take it a little further, and maybe they add a number to it, and then it's maybe in however many minutes that they can be hacked. And then we add a symbol to it, and it'll take a little bit longer for it to be hacked. So they're trying it out to see how to make their passwords stronger. And I also demonstrate with a live hacking site, which is, the kids are really amazed by that. They want to know, why is it coming from that country? What's happening there? And, why is it going to that target? So it leads to a really good conversation and, just reinforcing how to be safe online. Talking about, they learned stranger danger, but stranger danger applies online as well.
Absolutely. Karen, anything to add? Similar comment?
Well, grades 5 through 12, I know we created an online digital citizenship course for this school year, and all 5th through 12th grade students automatically get enrolled in that and have to complete that. And that's followed up through our media centers. So,
Just tell those kids to write their passwords down, because when they get to be my age, they won't remember what they used. So ladies, I really appreciate you taking some time to share information with our community, our parents, just folks who want to know more about technology. And like I said, we could talk about this stuff forever. It's a pretty important part of what we're doing. We're fortunate to be able to have devices for every kindergarten through 12th grade student, or for them to be able to use them. I know, Teresa, you've been, as many of our staff members have, been lucky enough to get some of the resources that you use because of grants from the Pride in the Tiger Foundation and the PTA here in Marshall. So that support has been really important in order for us to move forward with our technology plan district-wide and look to the future. So thank you, ladies, for recording this and for sharing information. Again, I'm Scott Munson, Superintendent in Marshall. If you ever have any questions about technology or anything else in our school district, please feel free to give us a call at 537-6924 or check out our website, www.marshall.k12.mn.us. Thank you.